Hey everyone, welcome back. It feels like every day there's more and more information to sift through.
Oh, absolutely.
So today we're going to do a deep dive into a research paper that caught my eye. I think this one might be a game changer when it comes to actually making sense of all the data that's out there.
That's what caught my eye about this paper, too.
The title is a bit of a mouthful, but bear with me. It's called OneKE, a Dockerized, schema-guided, LLM agent-based knowledge extraction system.
Yeah, definitely a mouthful.
But don't let that intimidate you. What this is all about is taking those overwhelming sources we deal with every day, like massive websites, reports, even whole textbooks, and turning them into easy-to-use data.
Yeah, it's like, how can we start drowning in information and actually start using it?
Right, and that's where OneKey comes in. This isn't just another AI model, though. It's a whole system designed to extract knowledge in a way that's, well, honestly, pre-revolutionary.
It's a complete rethinking of how we approach knowledge extraction. It's so much more than just, throwing a bunch of data at a language model and hoping for the best.
Okay, so let's break down what OneKey is trying to solve. I mean, I'm sure many of you listening can relate to that feeling of information overload. You're trying to pull specific facts or figures from a messy website or a dense PDF report, and it's just a nightmare.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like you're stuck doing digital archaeology, just digging and digging for those nuggets of information.
Exactly. And that's the problem OneKey tackles head on. What sets it apart is this super cool three-agent system. It's almost like having a specialized team of experts working behind the scenes.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Totally. So no more one giant AI trying to do everything. It's all about dividing and conquering. Tell me more about this dream team of agents. Who's the first one up?
So first, we've got the schema agent, the organizer, you could say. This one figures out the structure of the information we're looking for, kind of like a blueprint.
Okay, so let's say I'm trying to extract financial data from a company report. The schema agent would decide what that final output should look like, maybe like a spreadsheet or a summary of the key numbers.
Exactly. It's setting the stage for what we want to end up with. And once we have that structure in place,
Then what?
then the extraction agent steps up. This one's the workhorse. It uses LLMs, those large language models, like potentially even ones you've heard of, like ChatGPT, to actually go into the source material and pull out the data.
Okay, so we have the organizer, the brawn, the muscle. What's the third agent do?
The third agent is where things get really interesting. The reflection agent steps in for quality control. Now, this is what sets OneKey apart from a lot of other AI systems. This agent actually learns from past successes and, get this, past mistakes.
It learns from its mistakes.
It does, and then it refines the output as it goes.
So it's like it gets smarter over time. I know a lot of AI models out there have to be retrained every time they make a mistake. This is huge for efficiency.
Absolutely. That self-learning aspect means OneKey is constantly adapting and improving without needing a whole reprogramming session for every little hiccup. It's designed to get better with every task.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm impressed already. But with schemas and cases and learning, all this information floating around, how does OneE keep track of it all?
Good question. OneKey uses something called the configure knowledge base. It's like a central hub, a shared memory for all three agents. It stores these pre-built schemas for common data types, think like templates.
Like templates?
Yeah, for like news articles or scientific papers.
That's smart.
It's got those bases covered so it can quickly extract that information.
Okay, so it's like having a library of pre-made formats ready to go. That makes a lot of sense. But what happens when OneKey encounters something new, something that doesn't have a template?
That's where the case repository comes in. This is like OneKey's personal experience log. It's part of that central knowledge base we talked about. It stores both the successful and the unsuccessful cases.
So wins and losses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Along with like the reasoning behind each. So when OneKey hits a new situation, a brand new website or a complex PDF, it can actually look back at its past experiences and see if it's tackled something similar before.
So it's not just starting from scratch every time. It's actually learning from its past wins. And as you said, even its failures. That's pretty ingenious.
It's not blindly applying rules. It's constantly learning and evolving.
Okay, I'm on board with this concept. But I want to get to the nitty-gritty, the examples. The paper highlighted some interesting real-world applications, like using OneKey to analyze news websites. Can you paint a picture of how that works in practice?
Sure. Imagine, you're trying to keep up with a specific news trend. You have to go to all these different websites, read through all these articles, and it takes forever, right? Well, instead of doing that, OneKey can actually analyze the raw code of those websites and automatically pull out the key information.
Right, like the actual code of the website.
Yeah, things like the title, the date, who are the main people involved, and even create a little summary of what happened.
That would be a game changer for journalists, researchers, anybody who's trying to stay on top of the news. No more sifting through endless articles.
And think about market research. OneKey could track, competitor announcements, product launches, even see what the public sentiment is towards a certain brand, all automatically.
Okay, that's powerful stuff. But then they talked about something even wilder, extracting knowledge from books. I'm curious how that even works.
Yeah, so for this one, they actually used the first chapter of Harry Potter as a test case. It was like a 17-page PDF.
Harry Potter, okay. What kind of knowledge are we talking about extracting from a novel?
The goal was to pull out the character names and details about the setting.
So, like, who are the characters? Where does it take place?
Exactly. And OneKey was able to correctly identify the characters, like Mr. Dursley and Harry Potter, figure out, what their roles were in the story, and even figure out the location, Privet Drive, and that it takes place in the late 20th century.
Hold on. So it's not just grabbing names, it's actually understanding the context and how those elements fit within the story. That's pretty remarkable.
It really is. And think about the possibilities if you could apply this to, like, textbooks, research papers, historical documents.
Oh, wow. Like students could get summaries of whole textbooks.
Yeah. Researchers could analyze tons of data in way less time.
It's like anyone could become an expert on anything just by giving OneKey the right material. This feels like a major leap forward.
It's a peek into a future where information isn't just abundant, it's actually accessible and usable. And that's really what OneKey is all about.
This is seriously exciting stuff. But before we get too carried away, let's talk about how well this actually works. Did they do any tests to see if OneKey can really walk the walk?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They tested it on benchmark data sets for these kinds of knowledge extraction tasks. And honestly, it did really well, especially when they incorporated those self-learning features like we talked about.
So the results were good. It's not just a fancy idea.
It's the real deal. It
Right.
actually works. And the developers aren't stopping there. They're already working on making OneKey even better.
Oh, really? What are they planning?
Well, one thing they're working on is adding more what we call domain-specific knowledge. So imagine having like a version of OneKey that's preloaded with info about medicine or law. It would be a game changer for those fields.
That's amazing, like having an instant expert on any topic, anything else in the pipeline.
This is where it gets really cool. They're also working on adding support for charts and graphs.
Wait, so not just text anymore.
No. OneKey could analyze visual data too. Think about scientific papers, financial reports, even infographics. It could unlock insights from all sorts of sources.
Okay, the possibilities are endless. This is truly a game-changing technology.
And the developers are just getting started.
All right, let's take a moment to process all of this amazing information about OneKey. It's a system with 3 agents working together, pulling knowledge from tons of sources, even learning as it goes.
And it's already showing incredible results, outperforming other methods on those benchmark tasks.
It's clear that OneKey is a big step forward in making information truly accessible. It's not just about having a ton of data anymore. It's about being able to actually use it.
And that brings us to the question for everyone listening. What would you use OneKey for?
Think about it. If you could extract knowledge from any source easily and quickly, what problems could you solve? What insights could you uncover? The possibilities are really endless. The future of information is here, and we have the power to shape it. But there's so much more to talk about with OneKey, so let's dive into some more specific examples of how it can be used in different fields in our next segment.
It's like we have this amazing new toolkit,
Yeah,
and we're just starting to figure out all the cool things we can build with it.
I love that analogy. We've talked about news and books, but where else could OneKey really shine? I'm thinking about the research world. This could be huge for scientists and academics.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine you're a researcher, right? You're trying to synthesize the latest findings on some topic. You've got stacks of scientific papers.
So many papers.
And you're trying to pull out the key information. Well, OneKey could do that for you.
Really?
Yeah. It could analyze all those papers and extract the important stuff, experimental data, conclusions, even citations.
Wow. So no more hours and hours spent highlighting and trying to compile everything from different
But
sources.
nope. OneKey could do it all for you, and it would be organized exactly how you need it.
That would free up so much time for actual analysis and thinking. That's a game changer for any researcher. Okay, shifting gears a bit. What about something more business focused? Could OneKey be helpful for, say, competitor analysis.
Definitely. Picture this. You feed OneKey your competitor's website, their product brochures, even news articles about them. OneKey could create this detailed profile.
A profile.
Yeah, outlining their products, their services, who they're targeting,
Right, it's interesting.
even like their strengths and weaknesses.
That kind of insight would be gold for any business. It's like having your own AI-powered business analyst. Okay, now I'm thinking about all those legal documents, all that jargon. Could OneKey make sense of, like, contracts and case files?
You're reading my mind. The legal field, it's known for being complex, right?
Definitely.
So OneKey could be huge for lawyers.
How so?
It could help them quickly extract key clauses from contracts, important dates, who the parties are.
No more spending hours poring over documents.
Exactly. And it's not just about saving time.
What else?
It's also about accuracy. Because OneKey follows that predefined schema.
Sorry, the blueprint.
Exactly. And it applies its knowledge consistently. So you're going to get more objective and reliable results, less room for human error.
That's a crucial point, especially in fields like healthcare or finance, where data integrity is so important. Speaking of finance, could OneKey be used for something like, financial analysis?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine feeding OneKey financial reports, market data, news articles about a specific company. It could pull out key financial metrics, see trends, even flag potential risks or opportunities.
It's like having your own AI financial advisor. This is incredible. It's not just extracting data. It's about unlocking insights from it, automating these complex tasks.
Yeah, it's really changing how we interact with information.
Instead of just passively consuming it?
Exactly. OneKey gives us the tools to actually use it, to analyze it, derive meaning from it.
It's empowering.
It really is. It's like we're moving from the information age to the knowledge age.
Where information isn't just abundant,
Right.
but it's also understandable, and we can actually do something with
It's
it.
exactly. It's actionable. But, we have to be realistic. No technology is perfect, right?
Of course.
We've talked about all great things OneKey can do, but what about its limitations?
Right. How does it compare to other knowledge extraction methods out there?
That's a great question. And that's where those evaluations we talked about come in. The researchers really put OneKey through its paces.
They did.
Yeah, they compared it to other approaches on all sorts of tasks.
How do?
Really well. The results were impressive, to be honest, especially when they used those, case retrieval and reflection agent features.
The self-learning components.
Yes.
Those really made a
It
difference.
wasn't just keeping up with the competition.
No, it was actually outperforming them in a lot of cases.
That's fantastic. Okay, so walk me through those tests. What were they looking at?
So they focused on two key tasks in knowledge extraction, named entity recognition.
NER.
Yeah, and relation extraction. Remember, NER is all about identifying and classifying named entities in text, like, people, organizations, locations.
Right, like tagging a news article with the names of the key people or companies.
Exactly. And then relation extraction, we call that RE. It takes things a step further. It figures out the relationships between those entities.
So like who's the CEO of a company or who wrote a specific book?
Yep. It's connecting the dots, uncovering the deeper meaning.
So NER is like creating an index.
And RE is building the knowledge graph, showing how everything is connected.
Exactly. And both of these tasks are super important for, building knowledge bases, making search engines work better.
Makes sense.
They're fundamental to how we make sense of information.
Okay, so they tested OneKey on these really important tasks. And you said the results were good.
Consistently good. OneKey outperformed a lot of the standard methods out there, especially when they used those case retrieval and reflection agent features.
The self-learning really gives it an edge.
It does. It's like it's reasoning and learning.
As it goes.
Right.
Okay, so they compare OneKey to other methods, but did they actually test it out in the real world?
They did. They wanted to see how it handled real data. So they tested it on websites, news articles, even book chapter.
What kind of tasks were they trying to accomplish?
Well, one scenario was extracting info from news articles.
Okay, like what?
Like, automatically generating summaries, identifying the main people involved, even tracking public sentiment.
That would be so useful.
Right. And OneKey was able to do all that. It could identify the title of the article, when it was published, the key people, and even create a summary of what happened.
So it's understanding the news article, not just pulling out random words.
Exactly. It gets the structure and the meaning. And then they gave OneKey an even tougher challenge, extracting knowledge from a book.
Oh, wow. Which book?
They used the first chapter of Harry Potter. It was like a 17-page PDF.
Harry Potter again. What were they trying to find?
They wanted to extract information about the characters and the setting.
Okay.
And OneKey was able to identify characters like Mr. Dursley and Harry Potter, figure out their roles in the story, even figure out where it takes place, Privet Drive, and that it happens in the late 20th century.
It's reading and comprehending.
It really is. And think about what this means.
What do you mean?
If we can apply this to, textbooks, research papers, historical documents.
We could analyze so much information.
We could. We could create summaries of whole books in seconds, find the key arguments in research papers, even create timelines of historical events.
This is mind-blowing. It's not just about extracting data anymore.
No, it's about unlocking knowledge.
And making it accessible to everyone.
Exactly. It's about empowering people to learn and explore in completely new ways.
Okay, I'm totally on board with this.
Yeah.
But what about the future? What's next for OneKey?
Well, the developers have big plans. They want to add support for more types of data, like images, videos, even audio files.
Whoa, so we could extract knowledge from like a documentary or a podcast.
Exactly. A true multimodal knowledge extraction system.
Incredible. Anything else?
They also want OneKey to be able to understand and reason about the knowledge it extracts. So it's not just pulling out facts, but it can actually infer relationships, draw conclusions.
And maybe even generate new knowledge based on what it's learned.
You got it. They want OneKey to be like a true AI research assistant.
Working with humans to solve problems.
Exactly. It's an exciting vision for the future.
It really is. Okay, we've covered a lot today, the technical stuff, the applications, the potential. But what stood out to you the most? What are you most excited about?
For me, it's the idea of OneKey as this tool for unlocking hidden knowledge. We've seen it extract knowledge from websites and documents.
Even books.
Right. But what about all the knowledge that's inside each of us?
In our own minds.
Yeah. What if we could use a system like OneKey to tap into that, to connect all our experiences and insights?
That's a challenge worthy of this kind of technology.
It is. It's a future where knowledge isn't just extracted, it's shared, connected, and amplified.
It's a beautiful vision.
It is.
And it's a future I think we can all get behind. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
We've still got more to explore with OneKey, so let's dive into some final thoughts in our last segment. It really makes you think, doesn't it? All this knowledge just waiting to be unlocked.
It's like we're standing at the edge of something truly transformative.
And the exciting part is, with OneKey, we're really just scratching the surface. The developers are constantly pushing the boundaries.
Oh, yeah. They're always coming up with new ideas, new ways to make it even more powerful.
It's a testament to how far AI has come and the amazing things we can do with these large language models.
It's not just science fiction anymore. It's real. It's happening right now.
Exactly. We've covered a lot in this deep dive, the technical details of OneKey, the potential applications, even the bigger implications for society.
Yeah, we went deep on this one.
We did. But at the end of the day, what I find most fascinating is what OneKey tells us about the future of knowledge itself.
It's not just about having access to information anymore. It's about understanding it, using it, making it work for us.
Imagine a world where all that information that's currently locked away in complicated reports or scattered across the internet is suddenly accessible and easy to understand.
A world where we can actually use that information to solve problems, to make better decisions, to even create new things.
OneKey gives us a glimpse into that future.
A future where we can truly unlock our potential as individuals and as a society.
It's a future I'm really excited about. As we wrap up this deep dive into OneKE, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
We've seen how OneKE can extract knowledge from websites, documents, books.
All sorts of sources.
But what about the knowledge that's already inside us, in our own minds?
That's a really interesting question.
What if we could use a system like OneKE to tap into that hidden knowledge, to connect our experiences, our insights, all those unique perspectives we each have?
Wow. That would be something else.
It would be a collective tapestry of understanding, woven together from the threads of our individual experiences.
A truly shared knowledge base.
Exactly. That's a challenge worthy of this groundbreaking technology, and it's a challenge I think we need to explore. So that's it for our deep dive into OneKE. Thanks for joining us today. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time.